Well, the left's love affair with cashless bail has turned American cities into war zones. Murderers are walking free in hours. Police are furious. And now President Trump and his allies are putting this disaster on blast. And stick around because what's revealed here is the sore spot that Democrats don't want you talking about. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Hit like, subscribe, and let's get into it.
Let's dig into some of what we just heard. Standing by with us has been Jonathan Turley. Thank you for your patience, Professor. Fox News contributor, constitutional law attorney, and professor at George Washington University. He made a lot of news, including this on no cash bail. Listen.
If you look at the top 25 cities for crime, just about every one of those cities is run by Democrats. And you know, one of the bad things they did, cashless bail, if you look back on time, when they allowed a murderer out that afternoon, you know, he'd kill somebody and then a couple of hours later he's walking the streets again, oftentimes killing again rapidly. Cashless bail is a disaster.
You know, as to always clarify when we cover this, a suspect doesn't need to put money down to be released from custody before trial. Jonathan, we know this has been a huge issue in so many of these states and cities in particular, like Chicago, like Washington, D.C., for the rise in crime. Why does this matter so much, and why is President Trump focusing on this so much?
Well, police groups have opposed this move, which started in New York, because it creates this revolving door, and they have seen recidivism or repeat offenders come out of that revolving door. And the problem with removing bail is that you remove a layer that of individuals that the police relied on, because most individuals, or many individuals, would go to bail bondsmen. And that creates an incentive of these bail bondsmen to go and find people that they effectively loaned money to. And so it took some pressure off the police. It put more pressure on people who were getting those bail bonds, because they knew it wouldn't just be the police. They'd have very motivated companies that would want to find them. And so this has been a sore point with many police departments for years. And I think the president is getting a very warm response from that.
They call it reform. But what it really is, what I really think it is a free pass for violent criminals. And just when you think it can't get any worse, Judge Janine steps in and blows the lid off how dangerous this scam has become.
The public is beginning to look at these cities that went in this direction and say, look, it hasn't worked. You know, this is not reduced crime, and perhaps we should go back where we were.
And Janine Pirro has his back on this. She appeared on Fox News earlier today, and obviously doubling down on the need to end no cash bail. Here's Janine.
Here in D.C., we've got defendants who are committing violent crimes who are being released out onto the streets. They are reoffending, and they're reoffending again. And this is where the trouble begins. The public is not safe when violent criminals repeatedly prove to us that they are not a risk that we can tolerate anymore, when they are not put in jail.
And under her direction of U.S. Attorney there in D.C., we are seeing a drop in crime. There's no doubt.
Right. Even some of the opposing press has said, look, there is a drop in crime. And part of the concern here is that much of a justice system depends upon the perception of that justice system. It is the fact that people respect it, that they believe it is authentic. And when the public sees someone arrested for a violent crime back out on the street within 24 hours, it erodes that confidence. People are less likely to trust police. They're less likely to think the legal system is going to work for them. And this is particularly a problem in poor areas, minority areas, that are the focus of much of this violent crime. And so what the administration is saying is that if you commit one of these crimes, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah, and when it comes to this no cash bail, this being the target of this administration, we know Pam Bondi said she's going to put together a list of the no cash bail jurisdictions that could end up targeting states, obviously like New York, but also cities like Chicago as well, which the president has honed in on as well.
Democrats' soft on crime experiments keep failing. But here's the contrast. President Trump brings in the feds and suddenly crime collapses. Watch how his crackdown in D.C. is shaking the entire country. Take a look.
The Trump administration's ongoing efforts to combat crime are showing promising results, keeping our capital and its citizens safe.
Since President Trump announced his initiative, the White House has reported over 700 arrests and 91 illegal guns seized so far.
With the crime crackdown gaining significant momentum, could we be seeing a shift to cities around the country?
U.S. Marshal Service Director Gadi Saralta joining us now. Director, thank you for taking time. I think it's really great to hear from you because as the country has watched these remarkable results driving crime down, I myself, a resident of D.C., very glad to see this. I've been there for over 30 years. But I think, it's this sort of whole of federal law enforcement that has brought this, made it possible, not just ICE or Border Patrol and now National Guard, but also the Marshal Service. Talk to me about how it's all working as a unified team.
So it's a unified command structure. It is led by the United States Marshal Service.
So first you saw how Trump's federal task force crushed crime with a unified command, but here's where it gets even better. Wait until you hear what locals are saying after seeing the city finally safe again, really for the first time in a long time. Take a look.
Well, yes, there are agents that and marshals and National Guard from various states that are available. But we're here for the period that the president has us here for, and I can tell you it's been extremely successful thus far. We are bringing our intelligence capabilities. We're bringing our investigative assets, our tools. We're working together with the Metropolitan Police Department to deploy in a intelligence-based manner in order to combat crime as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And we've gotten a lot of results. I want you to know we're very proud of the fact that we crossed the triple-digit mark with firearms.
Right.
We have 101, as of last night, 101 guns. So how many lives did we save with those 101 guns? Who knows?
So when you're walking on the ground there and you hear from your men and women who are on the ground there, what is it that is so effective about this strategy, in a real sense, like in a boots on the ground kind of way that has led to these positive results?
Well, our AG, Pamela Bondi, and Janine Pirro, the U.S. attorney here, are very tough on crime, right? So what we're doing is we're utilizing the federal statutes to the maximum while we do our investigative work. Now, not all cases go federal. That's unfortunate because the D.C. Council has a no cash bail that I'm hoping the president and the AG work together to do away, because that is what's happening to D.C., to Metropolitan Police.
Right.
The cops grab the bad guy, they put him in, and the bad guy comes out the other side, continues their crime spree.
Right.
Yeah, and it also demoralizes the law enforcement as well. I mean, you just, after a certain amount of getting the guy and then they release him, you just go, why am I even doing this?
Right.
Think about what we just saw. The left gives us revolving doors for criminals. President Trump gives us safe streets, real justice, and results that people can feel. The people that are living in Washington, D.C. want this. They want law and order. That's why we voted for Trump across the country. That's the difference between weakness and strength. And if they can turn D.C. around, imagine what happens when this strategy rolls across the country. This is Andy with TrendingPolitics.com. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and I'll see you next time.